Alan Wake hastily shoved another oven-baked taquito into his mouth and said,
Oh, welcome back to Sound Goblin Gaming. Where are you from?
So welcome back to Sound Goblin Gaming. A little late and eating breakfast or eating dinner on the go, but still here. I am, as always, the Krampus.
I'm Shiv.
I'm Hunter Green.
And I just got this note that conveniently got left here because Alan Wake probably wrote it into the story. It says, "Did you know Ekans is snake spelled backwards?"
That's an old note.
It is an old note. I figured I should get out of Poke Mondays at a certain point. For
Alan
It has
reasons.
been a while.
Alan knew the last thing he should be doing is typing the Vaporeon meme into his magic typewriter in the dark place, but he just couldn't help himself. Alright, so let's get back into it, because we've got kind of a full dance card tonight. And I want to respect the time commitments of the various people here on the stream.
Should be noted that Alan Wake has only been gone for 13 years, so Pokemon still existed
Yeah.
when he
Yes.
disappeared.
Okay. So,
Franchise never dies.
when last we left,
Stuff.
we had finished Old Gods, and we had finished the cleanup from it. So now,
Yep.
we are returning to Alan Wake's chapters.
Switch reality.
And we're going to be heading into some... probably the most heady and unusual chapters in the game. Phew, looking a little evil there, Alan. So
I'm sure that's not a sign of anything.
yeah. So last time, just to wrap up story stuff, we learned that Saga is in fact a seer. Her mind place is not just some like technique she uses to visualize cases. It's an actual like supernatural technique that all of the Andersons can do. And that her mother knew about it but didn't want her involved with the supernatural powers, so she left home with Saga and took her away from her grandfather, Odin.
Or
The hell?
The hell? My first thought was someone threw a spear
You are
there.
correct. You are correct in that it is Tor. No, somebody has just poked a rake through here because reality is suspect.
That is a rake.
But anyway, you are correct. It was Tor who's her grandfather, because Odin is the All-Father, as he likes to joke.
Yes.
I
I mean, that's accurate to Norse mythology.
Yes. And we learned that Cynthia Weaver, who was the Light Lady from the first game, had been corrupted by the Dark Place because Rose stole her light, which belonged to Thomas Zane, threw it into the lake, and that's the lamp that we now have in Alan's inventory. That one that looks like an award.
Alan did tell her to do that.
Alan did tell her to do that.
Also, in thinking about it,
Mhm.
the Saga's family having the seer ability is 100% a reference to Stephen King's The Shining.
You know, I'm not even going to question it, because this game lifts so much from Stephen King. in a
I mean,
multitude of
he
ways.
is effectively Stephen King.
Alice had turned the bathroom into a dark room.
No such thing. That's too personal.
I don't think I would insult the fictional writing of Alan Wake by comparing him to Stephen King. At least his later career.
Later career, absolutely not. Early career, Stephen King wrote some really good shit when he was high on drugs.
So, little point of interest, that picture in the left one up at the top, that's the game over screen you get when you die as Alan.
Oh,
Okay.
neat.
It only flashes for a second, and it does the whole, like, strobing flashing effect that I dislike so much, but...
That's fair.
I needed to get inside the manuscript.
Greetings from Hollywood. Good. From Barry Wheeler. Hey, Alice. I'm more of a fish out of water in Hollywood than I ever was in the Pacific Northwest wilderness. These yuppies with their glow-in-the-dark teeth can be more fake if they had 6 fingers. Everything is so fucking great all the time, even when it's in fact the opposite. More than once I've thrown up in my mouth during meetings with these movie exec jerks. But I gotta be here to look after Al's legacy. Everyone wants to gobble up the film rights for the Casey books, and they have moronic ideas of what to do with them. It's my duty to herd this horde of tan zombies into the general direction of something resembling good taste. I'm painfully aware how deeply Al would have hated adaptations that didn't do justice to his vision. He was a master of hating things deeply. For good reasons. I mean, that's why we loved him so much, right? Anyway, gotta hop on another video call now to talk about casting. Your pal, Barry.
I'm not going to lie. When I was reading that along with you, Al was AI to me, and I'm like, oh god, it's so true.
Hey, Alice, you're gonna think I've been replaced by an evil double, but I have joined a cult and I love it. Joking about it being a cult. Kind of. Blessed Wellness Retreat. Working with Al or the Andersons was tough sometimes, but these movie biz types are insane. My stress levels were through the roof, but then I was tipped off about the retreat. The best decision I ever made. I have never felt this good and, well, healthy. The guy who runs this place, Chester's a goddamn miracle worker. Not a wacko in any way. I know you think I'm full of shit, but I have lost a ton of weight. You wouldn't recognize me. Chester says I'm lucky to have ended up here, that something bad would have happened to me if I'd stayed in New York. I believe him. I wasn't feeling that great after everything that happened, especially after those FBC creepos wanted to chat with me, enough to turn anyone into a conspiracy nut. I hope you are good over there. Come visit any time. West Coast is not as bad as I made it sound in my earlier mails. Your pal, Barry. I feel like we've heard that name before.
Chester?
No. Well, yes, Chester, but more specifically, the Blessed Wellness Retreat. I feel like that's the cult that got started by the one guy who was a potential for the candidate program in Control. Who ended up not being... Hey, Alice. Checking in because I haven't heard from you. Everything good back there? I've been trapped in non-stop meetings with no breaks. Open kimono. I have considered peeing in a mug, and lunches be damned. How would these people ever get a movie made when all they do is sit in meetings is beyond me? Your pal, Barry. Hey, Alice. Sharks circling. They now want to turn what happened to Al into a movie and or TV show and or get this, a fucking video game. I told them to fuck off. Also, in case you hear about this from someone else, a true crime writer named Tammy Booker is working on a book about Al. Hunted down her publisher and told them we'll sue. Don't worry, I got you covered. Your pal, Barry. Hey, Alice. Everything good with you back home? Just checking in. I had to call, but I couldn't reach you. You're probably just deep in your creative process. I know how you artists get when you're in the middle of your projects. Everything else disappears. If you call back and can't reach me, I'm doing whatever it is an executive producer is supposed to do. Still a mystery to me. Oh, and if you want me to help with anything business related to your exhibition, just say the word. Your pal, Barry.
Okay. So it's a reference to something that was in Control. The character's name is Chester Bless. He runs an organization called the Blessed Organization, which is a paracriminal group that the FPC has been hunting for years.
Got it. Okay.
I was flattened.
And the thing about how healthy he is may reference an altered item referred to as the Guru's Surfboard,
Shock.
which was what attracted the FPC to Chester in the first place.
The guilt. Fear. I could barely get out of bed. Barry Wheeler started visiting. He even cooked me meals. I couldn't stand the guy when I first met him, but he's a better friend than I gave him credit for. He still checks in. Even after he moved out west.
Barry's a good guy.
Alice's work had consumed the apartment. Her whole life.
Oh, and before we get going any farther, I don't remember if it shows up here or the next time we're at the apartment, but I'll give the trigger warning here just in case. We are going to be talking about an explicit suicide.
Okay. There's that photo again.
That's 3.
One morning, I saw a deer soar past my bedroom window. It was a balloon of some cartoon animal. And I looked out at the street below, and I saw a little girl crying. Like losing that balloon had just ended her whole world. It was the perfect image of the horror of caring. And that's when I got myself out of bed. And I picked up my camera.
Did you tell the girl that it only gets worse from there?
There was something in the dark. Something I needed to see, to show. The more shadows I photographed and filmed, the more I felt like I was on the verge of a breakthrough. I submerged myself in it. I only went out at night. My search became obsessive, but I still had no idea what I was looking for. There's a world hidden behind ours. A dark tide ebbing and flowing against reality. Faces in the shadows. Fear of the dark is really just fear of what could be, that vast, paralyzing ocean. But photography can freeze reality in a snapshot, put a cage around the infinite and capture it. I need to prove those faces are really there.
The full manuscript of a novel. Return. A horror story about the dark presence escaping from the dark place, taking over Bright Falls. I couldn't remember writing it. I had not written it. I would never write this. I knew who had. Scratch. A monster with my face. If this story came true, Scratch would get out, people would die. Destroying the manuscript, it wouldn't stop it from happening. I would have to fix it, edit it. I could not change the genre of the story. I'd have to work within the constraints set by Scratch. I needed someone in the story to fight the darkness. Saga Anderson. I kept seeing her in my visions. She was already in Bright Falls, already involved, but she was not in Return. Not yet. I'd write her in. Try to stop Scratch within the limits of the horror story. It was almost impossible. It was taking too long. I had not reached the end.
End of part.
End of part.
Some say that it lives forever.
Scratch stopped me before I could finish my edits to the manuscript. The memory of my edits was already fading. Terrible things would happen if the manuscript came true. Scratch was there, at Parliament Tower, undoing my work. He could use the story to escape. He could go after Alice. I needed a new draft of the story. One that would get me ahead of Scratch.
There. There we go.
Zane had said we worked on Return together. That was a lie. Scratch wrote Return. I would pay Zane another visit. He had guided me to 2 murder sites. I needed a new one to get back to Parliament Tower. A new draft of Initiation.
Masks.
Masks
Initiation 7.
is the mighty power that will save the day.
It's showtime.
I think they have a problem there. Maybe they need a wet floor sign?
Maybe. Also, this is all black. It's probably mold and shit.
Ugh.
Well, the bright side, when it's that wet, it's no longer slippery.
I mean, depends on the mold.
I don't have time for this, so let's get over with. Tell me, was this all fake? A show?
No one said otherwise, Mr. Wake. It was to indulge you, but we can stop pretending now.
Masks come off.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I don't even think you know who's under your mask, but you know how to make things difficult for yourself. All these rules, endless, convoluted loops you insist on going through. You are so lucky, you know. There are so many people helping you. Armies of people. Myself. Your wife.
Alice. I need to get to her. She's in danger.
She is. Because of you. And so is someone important to me, someone you pulled into this. You keep opening doors. reaching through to get what you want, and that puts you in my path.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have to go now.
Maybe you will make it through this time. This has gone on long enough. This and our Night Springs. It was a nice distraction.
It's time someone gave me a straight answer here.
The next time we meet, the circumstances will be very different. And you would do well to return the favor by playing your part. Or stay out of my way, Mr. Wake.
Whatever you say.
Boss, I flashed the light in his eyes. You can go now. You do your mysterious exit.
Was it a sign I was closer to escaping?
It's a good thing he left
He's
before the
right there,
shotgun
hiding
came
behind the
out.
camera.
Considering who World Door is supposed to be based on, I don't think the shotgun would do terribly much.
So there's no outright confirmation of it, at least in the base game. I don't know if they do it in Night Springs, but there's very heavy hinting that Saga's father is Mr. Door. And the whole reason he's decided to get involved in the first place is because his daughter's important to him, or he genuinely cares about her, or for some reason because Wake involved Saga Anderson with the whole plan. Now he had to get involved and do the whole Mr. Door thing.
I mean, I guess we'll find out either in the DLCs or in...
Or in future installments, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of the game series where they're never really going to outright state a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But all the implications are there that Door is Saga Anderson's father. Door is also more than likely the dark figure that Odin gave his eye to.
Oh. Took the wrong eye.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's given away an eye.
Mutta onwards set the granny in the snow. When the panic is biggest, the help is also near.
Door didn't seem happy to see me this time.
Fearing the master is the root of wisdom. But don't let the game get you down.
He knows he's in the game.
Playing his role. Maybe put him in your films, Tom. Like you have put me. Sehän olisi.
What films?
I'm a fan of your masterworks. There is Tom the Poet, my favorite, and Yöden Yö is the most famous one, of course. And is it true what I hear? That it's coming back to cinemas soon? Is there a bottom to this rumor?
I need to get back to my apartment. Can you help me?
Well, plan is half done. You asked me to make sure you won't forget mikä se valokuva oli? The light pictures. The photos your artist wife took. They are waiting in the shoebox in the basement.
Where's in a shoebox?
Leave behind, you find in front of you.
Okay. Thanks, Adi.
Yes, someone call my name.
Alan, you can't go in there.
Alan Wake went pee pee poo poo.
I'm more at the fact that he also went into the women's restroom. Perv.
would find Alice's photos in a shoebox.
I find it funny that the water is persistent in both worlds.
A bullet of light to push the darkness away.
These were Alice's photos. I recognized the style. One showed the clicker sinking into darkness. The other showed a light in the shape of a bullet. They were important, even if I didn't know what to do with them yet.
Wake. Wake, Alan Wake. Wake. You're in my story. Wake. Wake.
It seems to be the one that you don't look at. It's just gonna hit you up the back of the head too.
End of part.
Oh, that was sudden.
Got your pictures. Came here for.
Yeah.
I'm lost in the dark, drowning. I'm drowning. I'm drowning. No way out. There's no way out. It's deeper, deeper, deeper. This is hell. I'm in hell. I died. I wish I was dead. Let me die. I just want to sleep. Please. Let me sleep. I'm so tired. I just want to go home. I've written so much. I write. And I write. There's nothing left. It's all gone. I don't know how to write. All the words are gone. There's no more words. Where did they go? Did I eat the words? I don't recognize these words. Who are the words moving? This is familiar. Oh, why is this familiar? I've been here before. Have I said this before? I've read this somewhere. Where am I? Who am I? Alan Wake. Alan Wake? That's a strange name. Wait, that sounds like a character. I write a name up. I make that one name up. I don't want to be a character. I don't want to be the story. Just write me out of the story. Ram these words down your throat. Make you choke on these words. Oh, I know the words. Secret words. You can't take the words. I eat the words. These are my words. Stop using the words. The words. Also, the word. This isn't your story. It never was your story. The story is a monster. The story will eat you alive. The darkness is coming. The darkness inside. This is my story. You're in my story. Get out of my story. You are a character in my story. You can't stop the story. This story will go on forever. There's no escape. You will never escape. You will drown here. You're stuck in a room. You have a clue. You're lost. You're lost in blood. I'll show you.
Now, that was harrowing, but I do want to point out the section where Alan climbed on his desk and flapped his arms like a bird.
It's very important to the process.
Now, was that Alan or was that Scratch?
Is the overarching question.
Crazy ranting inside of the dark place, almost certainly Alan.
Crazy ranting and eating at least 2 pages of manuscript?
Definitely
Okay,
Alan.
that's probably Alan, yeah.
To get to Parliament Tower, I needed to find a murder site. Same with trying to find one.
Okay, I need to find another murder site.
I need to find a murder site, not of my own creation.
I need to find somebody else's murder site. Fine.
I have stumbled into a murder.
Alan was using a lot of literary shortcuts, and by literary shortcuts, I mean a snub-nosed revolver.
Alan knows people who use subtext. They are cowards.
Okay.
All these people are saying his name because they recognize him as the guy who just shot some random person.
Alan Wake is such an asshole. Every time I try and talk to him on the street, he just runs right past me. Also, he had a gun?
Oh, he just smacked that man!
Had I chosen to pursue the cult, or had they chosen me for some unknowable purpose? To be a demon, to sort the clues based on my interpretation, to change that which I observed. It was all a play. Shadows on the wall of a cave, an echo of the true events that happened somewhere else. Was I there to watch the shadows, or was I a shadow too? In a performance set up for someone else?
Aren't you dead?
No.
We're going to talk about that when we get to the end of this gameplay night.
About the fact that, yes, he is dead, except he's not?
Superposition. Both these things are true.
665 was upstairs.
God damn it, Schrodinger.
The elevator would take me there.
Foreshadowing is a literary technique where... Door.
Something told me Zane wouldn't be happy to see me this time.
Alright, finding a new murder site. The easy way.
I'm in control now. The second you try anything,
No, you're an Alan Wake
shoot you
too.
in the head. Scratch wrote return, not me. You're a fucking liar. You'd given up. You stopped writing. You said it was too dangerous, that we didn't deserve to get out. And then he showed up. Scratch. He promised to write. To get me the hell out of here. He was magnificent. A visionary. I mean, it was art. But then, when he finished, he took return and left me behind. It's still here, and so is he. I know I fucked up. But you can still catch him before he gets out, before he gets to your wife. When you get to him, don't hesitate. Kill the bastard for what he did to us. There's a murder site in my cinema where my film Nightless Night is playing.
There could be a murder site here, too. Oh, well. There we go.
I told you not to try anything!
Oh, I'm glad we got a ticket.
how would you get in the cinema otherwise?
Exactly.
Can't just break in.
I mean, we just killed a guy. We'll kill another.
It's not the first time we killed him.
Oh, mercy. Thousands have gone missing. Beyond the labyrinth of me. When you're lost in your own company. And cut! Oh. Now that is drama.
Okay, fair.
Fuck? I had a million questions, but I had more pressing concerns.
I am reasonably certain, given how long Thomas Zane has been in here, and the fact that he has obviously been like writing and creating and continuing to do things in the dark, I'm fairly certain he just can't be killed. At least not by other people in the dark zone or in the dark place.
I am fairly certain that he probably has been killed multiple times. It just doesn't matter because as this game has gone over and tried to emphasize multiple times, it keeps looping.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if Thomas Zane dies on a loop because he'll still be
I had
around.
to find the movie theater poet's cinema.
See,
Hence that scene constantly jumping back and forth with both of them being in the church, both of them being flipped position. This is probably played out multiple times where Alan has gotten shot, Tom has gotten shot, no one's gotten shot. It's been that movie we just saw.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention the interstitial song of "And Some Say It Loops Forever" that plays every time a chapter ends, whereas
Yep.
Saga gets unique songs for every end chapter.
Tom shot Zane, Zane shot Tom.
The spirals that appear everywhere.
Alan shot Zane, Zane shot Alan.
You
The
might
cops
be
got laughed.
you might be correct though.
Like that's the thing. I think even beyond the loop of the dark place, I think Thomas Zane has more control over it than anyone else here, except for entities that were born here, like Scratch.
I think it might be implied that he has been the longest existing resident while still in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
Zane is more than likely the longest existing person we interact with in the Dark Place.
Yeah.
There's some implications that get risen by the final chapter stuff that we're not going to see because we're not doing the New Game Plus stuff to have the cutscenes in here.
We'll look up like a summation of it.
Yeah, we'll talk about we'll talk about the stuff that happens at the very end that we're not going to see.
Right.
That is final chapter.
Yeah, what I plan to do before we start Night Springs is to do like a small section where we go over what happens in the final draft mode.
Final draft, yeah.
Yeah.
But not actually play through it.
Yeah. Like, honestly, probably the most relevant thing for final draft is the altered ending.
Yes.
So we can just talk about what happens in the altered ending. And the strange implication it has.
Yeah, there is a bunch of stuff that it adds to like the middle and even start of the game too.
Yeah, it does change some cutscenes and recontextualize some cutscenes, mostly to more obviously establish that there has been a loop going on. If you haven't already picked it up.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a loop going on?
Yeah. Some people need to be beaten about the head and shoulders with this fact.
Yep.
Yeah, go figure.
It just does more of a like direct outright stating that yeah, there's basically a loop going on.
Yeah.
And then the ending cutscene is probably the most the change to the ending cutscene is probably the most important part of it. But again, the change to the ending cutscene has some strange implications that we'll get to when we get there.
Light cut through the darkness.
Not gonna lie, for a second there, it sounded like that one just said, "Go home, you're drunk." Which, if I also saw a guy just shining a flashlight at random points, I would also tell them, "Go home, you're drunk."
Shining a flashlight at random points, shooting people with a shotgun.
No, we do have one thing we need to take care of first. Well, a couple things we need to take care of first.
Hi, Alan. Can I have an autograph? Oh God!
It's me, both barrels.
The shadows and the people melted away.
I do like that the pistol ammo we find is of a different caliber than the 9mm that Saga uses, but it still shows up as pistol ammo in the inventory.
I mean, both different calibers can be pistol ammo.
Well, yeah, but they actually took the time to model a separate box of 357 Magnum ammo. And our reward for going around and doing all that.
Hey, Alan.
Sure.
How's the memory doing?
Sorry, who are you? Kidding. Good to see you, Tim.
You had me going.
Cozy place you got here.
You know, your disappearance from Bright Falls is still the only thing that folks talk about. Well, that and Deerfest. Is this where you ended up back in 2010?
You know about that?
I am the sheriff of Bright Falls. Or I was.
Are you related to Sarah Breaker? She was the sheriff of Bright Falls back in 2010.
Yeah, she's my cousin. I had a police sketch made of Door based on my dreams. I sent it around and Sarah recognized the face from an old case file from the 80s. I moved out there to look into it and became sheriff after she left to join the feds.
What was in the case file about Door?
Not a lot of details in it. A local man named Warland Door went missing near Cauldron Lake. Eyewitnesses claim he was struck by a bolt of lightning and just vanished. I never found any official records of a Warland Door living in town or anywhere. Another dead end.
So Deerfest is still a thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's bigger than ever. You know, I got zapped here right before it was about to happen.
Funny. Me too.
I knew it. It's all the deer's fault. Maybe getting his revenge.
Little do we know the deer is the real author. That's why it needs all that caffeine.
Yes, Door went missing in 1988. Doesn't seem to have aged. Uncle Frank would know more, but he's dead. Not his real name hidden. And everything else here is just
The stuff we've seen before.
I am assuming that we will learn more about the Door stuff in the Night Springs episode that directly deals with Sheriff Breaker. Because there are 3 characters that the Night Springs DLC focuses on. One being Rose, one being Sheriff Breaker, and one being Jesse.
Yep. I'm hoping after we get through Control 2, or while we're going through Control 2 at some point, that they are able to sort out some licensing issues and get Quantum Break rights back.
I
doubt they're gonna try at this point, mostly because they've already recast the most important guy from Quantum Break.
Fair.
It's also kind of a bit of a nightmare when it just comes to likenesses.
Yeah.
us in his image. Just like us, he is an uncaring, cruel son of a bitch. Having made it in heaven, he doesn't want us there, dirtying up all that nice white upholstery. And he doesn't want to reach down to help us. He gets his kicks just binge-watching us struggling, hurting, killing, dying, screwing it up again and again. Lazily stirring it up when things threaten to get too placid. This city is only here to satisfy his sick, voyeuristic pleasure.
Pretty sure thoughts like that get you sent to hell.
I think he's also alluding to, like, the writer. Since Casey is gradually becoming more self-aware as time goes on. Also, does not really matter which Casey we are talking about in that equation.
No.
Okay. So after a bit of securing some extra stuff.
We haven't seen any words of power in a while.
We have not seen Words of Power, although there are probably a couple around here that I'm missing.
Oh
Honestly,
my god, there's someone else here!
honestly, on story difficulty, we don't have to worry too much about finding all the Words of Power.
The lobby was a gateway to other realities on the silver screen. I could set a scene here.
New scene.
Word. I felt like I'd been on this case, looking for the cult of the word for a lifetime or more. The only case I'd ever been on. They would surface from the dark with their depraved acts of violence and fade back into the night, leaving behind bloody crime scenes and clues heavy with obscure meanings that led nowhere. Arriving at the cinema, I felt a monumental, terrifying revelation trembling before me, ready to open its jaws and swallow me whole.
This place had significance to the cult. There was something to use there.
Yep. First off.
The question, how do you run from an idea, from a thought, from a story that lives in your head? You can't escape confused. You carry your monsters with you. The devil on your back, it's in you. You're running right back to it. A loop. I have to stop. Stop running. Stop writing. I won't write another word. It's too dangerous. Only horror comes out of it. People get hurt. I will let the currents of this ocean wash me away. But what if I forget why I stopped? What if I forget I stopped at all? That is fucked up. If that happens, I'll start writing again.
Did I stop writing at some point? I can't stop. There's too much at stake.
You were told that you stopped.
Alan did just take a bunch of pills a few minutes ago. You gotta forgive him.
That's fair.
Alan Wake lacks object permanence.
Oh, what's that?
The main event was the murder. I had to find my way to it. The first step toward the murder site. I was making progress. Someone had barricaded themselves in the room.
The cult of the word. That's genius. No, wait, that's dumb.
It's genius.
Someone fire that man. Sir, he doesn't work here. Then someone hire that man so we can fire that man.
Do you a lot of good to talk, buddy.
It was an initiation ceremony. Or so we made our new members believe. Two of New York's finest. They had performed endless favors to earn their place among us. We had something special waiting for them.
Among Us.
and something very special for you, Alex Casey.
Who's your leader? Alan Wake? Scratch? Zane? Give me a name!
You will meet him soon enough.
There was no end to the corruption. It fit the genre, so I'd use it.
I mean, New York cops, you have to kind of expect.
I was gonna say, I mean, cops.
Hey, more pills.
Alan does like his pills.
We can go over here now. Stuff. Dear man.
Yep.
You know, if they just started selling those masks at furry conventions, I bet they get a high price. It's actually pretty good quality. Let's see, what else is playing? Nightless Night, Cold Casey, Final Casey. Oh, hey, Yoten Yo.
Yeah, Nightless Night.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nightless Night.
Yep. I mean, it was even on the ticket. It was Nightless Night, Yoten Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard-boiled and hung-over Hard Casey. Oh, hi, buddy. Oh. Ha. Autograph.
Doesn't matter, you do not need to break their shadows to push them ahead.
I feel like this is gonna become a run.
I don't know if you don't have to break these shadows. Because these aren't normal people with a shadow shield. These are weird shadow thing.
I could have sworn we discovered that you could headshot them.
We know
That
we can
was-
do it for regular enemies. Or for like enemies in Saga side, because they're people with shadow
Yeah.
shields.
Wake and Saga fight different enemies effectively.
Well, I know that, but I could have sworn that it initially came up as a thing when we were playing as Alan.
I have to be on the stage for this one.
Get up this stage!
Urban legends circling Thomas Zane were a bottomless rabbit hole. I'd done some digging. To film freaks, he was a mythic auteur in the art house cinema. A rising star coming to America from Finland. But he only created one film, Tom the Poet, before he went missing, mirroring the vanishing of the main character in the movie, played by himself. The biggest mystery was around his lost film, an early work made in Finland, Nightless Night, rumored to have mystic properties. Some claimed it was a snuff film, that the ritual murder in the film was an actual murder. There were no known surviving copies, but the cult chased it as if it were their unholy grail. Just like Wake's books were.
If there were no known copies, how come they're showing it tonight?
Oh, it's very simple. It's not a copy.
Two guys
That's-
walk into a bar. One says, ow.
Boo! Get off the stage!
I control your destinies.
I need to talk to the person who keeps spilling red paint everywhere.
The cops had
How
gotten
that goes.
15 minutes of
Seriously.
fame with the cult, and it had been a scream. They were the murder victims. I had to find a way into.
Why
the
didn't you use that one
projection
when you're on the
somehow.
stage? Suck.
I hear somebody wants an autograph. Hold on, I'm refilling my pen. I don't care about the first aid kit.
I'll be right back.
Following it's you. Following your master into La La Land. A sad bunch of clowns in funny masks and hoods, pretending to be a secret society.
Maybe it is you who's playing a role, Mr. Casey. A role carefully laid out for you. A puppet blindly performing the ritual steps for the glory of the cult. Huh?
What the fuck have you been smoking?
Nightless Night.
Hash.
A clip of the lost film survived. You will see, Mr. Casey. In the Nightless Night, you will finally see.
Nightless Night was Zane's film. It played a role in this story.
Shush, I'm trying to watch a movie.
It changed the story. And with that, the dark place changed. What is this? Zane was in the clip holding my lamp. Was he playing me in his film? Zane's lamp on the screen had no light. I could
Yes, we gotta give him a light.
The light of the lamp shone out of the screen.
I am enjoying
We're
cinema.
busy.
Are we done? Does anybody else want autographs? Okay. Weirdly, this isn't the most violent autograph signing Wake's had.
I was back out into the night. The seedy alley away from prying eyes was a good scene for dark deeds.
Alan was willing to do those dark deeds for a reasonable price.
Or I say he would do them dirt cheap.
They would never say that. Never.
Inventory Tetris.
Yep. Save. Two health kits.
Nice.
You know what? I'm gonna be ritzy. I'm gonna use an entire health kit.
Oh.
Alan Wake shot up the alleyway.
Yeah, it makes a lot of like noises and stuff, you know, gasping, but really he's just pulling a roll of bandages out of there and leaving everything else in.
Doesn't even bother cleaning the wound first.
Out in the night.
Let me see, that guy heard an actual funny joke. Professional must have gone on stage.
I had to keep working on the story.
What do you get when you cross an owl with a bungee cord? My ass.
Thank you, Mr. White.
That is Betty. Thank you very much.
That was the evil Betty, yes. You may have seen him standing on top of a waterfall, swinging a big chain around. Or heard the song about big butts that he plays.
He does play it when he kicks your ass.
He beats you up while he plays it, yes.
Think they're gonna want us to, like, cut off a finger or something for this initiation, do you?
Nah. I'm sure we'll just chant some ceremonial stuff. Nothing to it.
Well, it's about time. We paid our dues. Made plenty of their problems disappear. Dumped all those nobodies down that chute.
What we did or didn't do, it's all behind us now. We're going straight to the top, partner.
Yep, like we died and went to heaven.
Well, one of those is true.
In the city trapped in eternal night, they watch the film where the night never arrives, where the night hides in your mind.
Very deep, Alan.
Very deep.
Who'd you steal that from?
Oh, this one always throws me off, because I always forget
Someone
exactly
had
what
fallen to their
sequence.
death from the rooftop.
Right, right. Here's the mark I need to see. Oh, right. That's what I need to do here. It'd be in the garage. Because there is a ladder that gets blocked off in one of these scenes. Used to climb up. Or I'm just losing my goddamn mind.
Could be both.
What chapter is this?
This is... Hold on, I'll go back to the save point for that.
Initiation 8?
Yeah,
Yes,
Initiation
Zanesville.
8, Zanesville. Oh, right. Bam. Destroy the roof. There we go.
Straight to the top. The dirty cops lived down in the city. Their city. They had committed repulsive deeds to get there. They told themselves it was worth it.
Now we switch over to Cult of Lord. So that's a CD. Cult of Lord. The last one.
Like, it's on the other side of the building.
Oh, right. Hi, guys. Lousy weather's been happening, huh?
We were here in a previous chapter.
Maybe? We might have been using this to get to another area. Let's pick another area. There we go.
Don't you fucking move, or I'll blow you away.
You got me, Mr. Casey. I'm all yours. Go ahead. Ask that burning question in your mind.
How did you do it? How did you get me into that film clip without my remembering it? Talk to me, damn it!
You've seen the film? Good, good. Now you're ready to meet the Grandmaster. He's waiting for you in the projection booth where everything will be revealed, where he will project a new reality onto this one. And now, Mr. Casey, I've played my part to the end.
No, no, no! Crazy bastard! Why'd he jump?
The projection booth. Was that where I find the murder site?
From the murder site.
I couldn't add a new element from here.
I'm trying to remember how we get into this one. You still got that walkthrough open, Shiv.
There's nothing in the walkthrough talking about getting through that door, at least this far.
Okay.
At this point, it should just be
Go
get
to
into
the
the projection
projection
room.
booth, yeah. I just didn't know if there was an optional breaker area there, because it's got the police tape. You hear him humming.
It doesn't say there.
Yeah, that was actually the reason why I remembered that we were up there before, was we had another moment where we heard him humming, and there was that little side area that led to a save room, but we never actually got into that room with Tim.
Although you should have a different thread now, so maybe it's open with that.
Yeah, but I couldn't change threads when I was up there. So I gotta come back down here and... You can try it, though. I've swapped over with the Grandmaster there. Dave, if you're just joining us here in the Channel 10 Action Copter, we are seeing Alan Wake standing on a rooftop, shouting autographs and shooting a 45 or 57 Magnum round randomly at people only he can see. People asked him if he was alright, he said, "my wife," which he was possibly quoting the movie Borat with, and then shot somebody. Which
hold
was
on.
not... Oh, okay.
Okay, from the door, turn left, and go left past some air conditioning blocks.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see the caution tape here.
Yeah.
Tricky. Very tricky.
Hey, Tim. New map, huh?
Yep. Like, I've never been to New York, but I can tell you that this ain't it.
I heard you humming again.
Yeah, I can't get this song out of my head. It's a real earworm. I hear it in my dreams.
I know that song you keep humming. It's the theme from Night Springs.
That old sci-fi show?
Sci-fi horror anthology. I used to write for a long time ago.
Look, it sounds a bit nuts, but I think the song is connected to Door. Or it's my subconscious telling me that this is all pretty out there.
Could be both.
The redheaded woman connected to Door? I know her. Where do I know her from? Her identity changes? Connected to polyhedrons? She will come for me?
Did we do the Tim Breaker one Initiation 7, or did we miss that?
Yeah, we
I'm
did.
pretty sure we got
7.
it.
It was the one where we had to clear out the darkness things that were covering through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was where we heard about the file that
That's
Door
right.
had. Oh, spooky. Hey.
It's worth noting at this section you shouldn't really bother fighting, it will just spawn you.
Got it. Hey.
Use us, we're trying to look for this file cap.
Excuse me, I'm trying to collect batteries.
Yeah, like, kill people who are in your way, but don't bother, like, fighting over when he shows up.
Oh no, guy with a knife.
He's trying to stop this man who's running around shooting people. That guy with a knife is a hero.
Or he just wants an autograph.
We can't go in there, he called base.
I had to be at the scene to see and understand it in order to change it.
no, I've been lightly shoved to the floor.
Probably standing there because he was shocked that that worked.
I'm the guy with the deer mask.
I don't know about that guy from Resident Evil 4.
You may know me from such games as Resident Evil 4.
I found myself in a maze of film equipment. There had to be a way to the projection booth from here. I wasn't alone.
I'm here, you son of a bitch. Show yourself. The Grand Master my ass. You're a clown in a mask.
No, Mr. Casey, I am you. You are the clown in the mask.
But sir, I am Pagliacci.
I was back where I started. A loop within a loop. I had to keep going.
I'm here, you son of a bitch. Show yourself. Who was it? Who said that? The Grand Master my ass. You're a clown in a mask. I'm not the one wearing a mask here, you moron.
The Casey in the story was losing it. I wasn't far behind.
But Mr. Casey, you are wearing a mask.
I was back at the beginning again. I had to keep going. Find a way to the murder site.
I'm here, you son of a bitch. Hey! Show yourself. Who was
gone.
Who said that? That's a real
I saw
clever
someone.
trick, asshole. You can run, but you can't hide. The Grand Master my ass. You're a clown in a mask. I'm not the one wearing a mask here, you moron. Why don't you come here and say that to my face, buddy? Then we'll see who's the moron.
I was back at the beginning again. I had to keep going. Find a way to the murder site.
I'm here, you son of a bitch. Show yourself. Who was that? Shut up. That's a real clever.
Who's there? Look, you got the wrong guy. I'm not Alex Casey. I only play him in the movies. He's just a fictional character.
What's going on here?
You don't have to kill me. You don't have to go get that knife and stab me. You can just give up and go back. Forget about the ritual sacrifice to open the way forward.
He said the magic words.
Ritual sacrifice to open the way.
Oh, well, now what do we have to do?
Don't do it. You don't have to become. Oh no. Oh no, you don't. You'll be sorry.
Oh, he got away. Run, Sam Lake. You have more games to make.
Damn, I wasn't going to kill you. I was going to cut you free. God. If I'd known you'd get free on your own, I wouldn't bother with a knife.
Going back to Coffee World.
Getting close.
goddamn lie. The only place any of this makes any sense is in your psychotic brain.
As a fictional character in a story, you fulfilled your purpose. You brought the writer of the story here. You can go now, Casey.
No, I'm not going anywhere before I get some answers. How was I in that movie? Why does all this feel so familiar? What? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck am I? No!
Welcome to you, Alan Wake.
What the hell?
This is the ritual to lead you on. We're just one step away from your final destination, Mr. Wake.
Oh, not Final Destination.
Here's an
I love that movie.
mystery for you. If Casey was fictional, and you assumed his role as a detective, are you now fictional too? Whose story are you living, Mr. Wake?
The visions are getting under my skin, coming too close for comfort.
Better question.
Not a separate layer, but mingling with my own reality in the dark place.
If Alan's now a fictional character, does that mean he can go on adventures with Sora in the world of fiction?
True.
The Dark Place world is a strange place.
Gosh, Mr. Lake, it's not a lake, it's an ocean.
This can't be right. Did I miss something?
I know what it's like to lose a wife, Mr. Wake.
The murder site. The mask was the key. This is how I could help her. Saga Anderson, listen. I've been tricked. Scratch wrote returned. I tried to fix the story, but he stopped me before I reached the end. He has it now. It's the key to escape.
What do you mean, escape? How are you a Scratch?
I need to stop him. I need to stop him before he gets out. He's after Alice. I'm still trapped, but I'm making progress. I wrote you in to be the story's hero. Scratch made a horror story. I need to match the genre. It has to be dark, but the hero can break through, save her family, save us all.
Save her family? Are you talking about my family?
Yes, whatever you're doing, it's working. You just need to keep going.
Did we have family in the horror story?
I was closer now. Closer than ever before. But there was no time to lose. Everything was hanging in the balance. I could still lose it all. Parliament Tower. I had to make it work this time. I could stop Scratch, get the manuscript, fix its ending.
End of part.
End of part. Okay. And now, the highlight of tonight's feature. Aminati gave this film rave reviews.
Ah, yes.
Onko täällä ketään? Ahti.
Sanovat, se joka varjoon tyytyy, valon ihmeestä paitsi jää.
Minulla oli sinua ikävä.
Olit Veikon kanssa. Siksi lähdin.
Hän on poissa. Ollut jo kauan.
Kun nyt lähden, lähde kanssani.
Mutta vasta tämän yön jälkeen.
Aw.
En mä kun vähän puukolla tökkäsin sitä. Tuik, 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 tuik. Heti sillä oli paskat housussa. Kontas ojan pohjalla änkyrä kännissä ja huusi ja soperteli ja armo, rakkasveli, anna armo, mä kuolen. Ai saatana. Kato. Tuhlaajapojan paluu. Ja häntä koipien välis. Tuliko hakemaan anteeksiantoa?
Uutiset mistään paluusta ovat ennenaikaisia. Tulin vain käymään. Ja nyt kun muistan millaista tämä touhu täällä on, en viivy kauaa. Missäs veljesi luuraa?
Pisti hengiltä. Rupes käymään aivoon se ainainen länkytys. Uhrilla ja mestarilla. Mutta ei se paskaveli kelvon edes siihen. Sä olit mestarin valittu. Vaikka mä koskaan ymmärtänyt, että miksi. Päiviltä pitäis sinutkin pistää. Miten on? Nyt tuli tupen rapinat, poika. Leikataan parta!
Leikataan pojalta partaa!
Miksi palasit, kun kerran lähdit?
En aikonut. Mutta nyt löydän itseni täältä. Nyt on kai kirottu. Kirjoitettu sadistisen kirjailijan tarinaa. Kierrän kehää.
Maa on syklinen laulu. Mites siellä valtion kontrollivirastossa menee?
Väärä virasto. En ole siellä töissä. Sitä paitsi sain potkut. Ei olisi tarvetta talonmiehen apulaiselle.
Ei ole. Tämän tilan isäntä katosi yön selkää vuosia sitten. Sen jälkeen kun sinä lähdit. Merkit on ilmassa, että multakin loppuu hommat pian. Siksi kyselen virastosta. Ehkä saan sieltä töitä.
Malja.
Mille juomme?
Yöttömälle yölle. Tämä riitti vie sinut tuon puoleiseen.
Sanotaan, että Aleen kurkotti liian pitkälle yön syövereihin. Eikä löytänyt sieltä enää pois. Kannattaa varaa sitä Aleenin mustaa leskeä. Taisit olla vähän heikkona häneen.
Pelkäsin häntä.
Me pojat oltiin aina vähän toivottomia naisten kanssa.
Samariitti vie sinut tuon puoleiseen.
Hän palaa. Ja sinut lukitaan huoneeseen.
Jesus!
Christ alive.
Vihdoinkin.
Kiitos. Rakkaani.
I think he realizes he has a shotgun pointed at his face.
I would have given them so many
Oh
props.
shit, Alan Wake has a gun.
I would have
As
given them so many
usual.
props if there was an alternate scene you could unlock by shooting the cultists on the screen. I tried that the first time I played through, because they already did the interaction with the film with the lamp.
Yeah.
En kierrä kehää. Tämä on spiraali.
He realizes he's in Uzumaki. I too would scream.
Okay. I'm gonna go hit the save point real quick.
Then we're gonna discuss Nightless Night.
We're gonna have a talk. Here's the exit.
The exits are clearly marked.
Exits are clearly marked for convenience. Okay. So before we say anything about Nightless Night itself, I would like to air a grievance. Just to get something off my chest that I've been holding in until we saw Nightless Night.
Okay.
Everything involving Thomas Zane in this game ruins... Well, doesn't ruin. I don't want to dip into hyperbole, but I think everything they do with Thomas Zane in this game detracts from what was otherwise a fun, campy, like, light horror premise that Alan Wake had going. And trying to untangle the knot of what happened in Thomas Zane in general involves a fair amount of conjecture and guesswork. So whatever we come up with is going to be satisfying to us, but I think the overall intention the game has is to just throw up your hands and go, Thomas Zane, baby, jazz hands.
Not entirely. So
Not
let's discuss.
entirely. Yeah, okay, so let's go over this. So, I have a theory as to what Nightless Night means to the story of Alan Wake 2 and the story of the Alan Wake series as a whole. Before I do that, is there anything you'd like to say, Shiv? Or
Go ahead. I will elaborate.
Okay.
Make conjecture based on what I have researched. After we hear your side.
Okay. So I believe that what Nightless Night does is it gives us a timeline of events from after when Tom made Tom the Poet to the present day. It starts with Barbara. Like, the whole reason he made Nightless Night, the whole, reason this film exists is because he makes up a character to try and sacrifice that character to do what Alan did, to switch places between who's in the writer's room and who's in the real world. Zane wanted to create a character and then use that character as the sacrifice. So he creates the character of Alex Casey, but very clearly writes Alex Casey as a stand-in for him. That's why he likes Barbara Jagger. That's why he's... mainly it's why he likes Barbara Jagger, and why, I think Ati still refers to him as Zane. When he's talking to, Casey.
I don't think Ati ever uses Casey. Or any of the talks that happen in the movie.
You cut out a little bit. You're saying that he didn't
Oh,
call...
I don't believe he ever mentions a name. Or I don't think Ati ever mentions the name during College Night, if I remember.
He does not.
If I recall correctly.
Yeah, he does explicitly mention Wake's name, but not in relation to Casey.
Yes, well, that's because Alan Wake is a character in the
Well, right. So, he tries to write a movie, like an art house movie, because he's an art house director. That's what he does. He makes wild, out there movies. So he tries to write a movie where somebody gets sacrificed, they go to the writer's room, and he gets to go free, coming out of the well like Jesus. That doesn't work. All that does is give the Dark Presence Barbara Jagger's form. And thus, as time passes, he has to come up with something else. So he reuses the character again. He writes himself a little loophole where, like, Casey appears in that last scene and then turns away. So that he can reuse the character later. He creates another character, Alan Wake, makes him write Alex Casey novels to keep Casey canonical to the story to use later, and then starts writing the story of Alan Wake. So everything... That's why Ati keeps referring to him as Tom, because he's another stand-in for Thomas Zane. Created people and real people don't seem to be different in the Alan Wake universe, provided you do it correctly. Or at the very least, the Dark Place is capable of making people who, for all intents and purposes, interact like real people. Because Scratch, for all that he's involved with light and darkness, as we saw in American Nightmare, mostly just runs around and kills people like a serial killer in a slasher movie. Like, he tortures people, he loves torture, and you can't get enough of it, but he's still human. So I think the idea that Alan is a created character, but his creation retroactively made his backstory and everything.
Okay, so I don't think you're too far off there. So the implications for everything I've seen is that Alan Wake is a created character by Thomas Zane. And most of the information we know about Alan Wake's past is information written by Thomas Zane or pulled from Thomas' life. So the angel lamp was literally a lamp that Thomas Zane had.
Yeah.
The clicker is literally the power switch from the angel lamp.
Yeah, we know that from the writing.
The reason the shoebox works is because that was a thing that Thomas Zane wrote in the story.
Yeah.
So I think you're slightly off on what Nightless Night is, though. Because it is a representation of what Thomas Zane effectively wanted to do, which was the rough idea is that Thomas Zane does write Alan Wake as a character to basically have him sacrificed and usurp with himself. I think that is Thomas Zane's plan, effectively.
Yeah.
Nightless Night, however, is Scratch's return manuscript. It worked, which is why Scratch came out, but not Thomas.
So you think Nightless Night is a thing they worked on together with Scratch, or that Zane worked on with Scratch?
Nightless Night is the thing that Scratch wrote for Zane when Alan Wake stopped writing.
Oh, okay.
They did the ritual and it functioned, which is why Scratch as Alan Wake is back in the world.
Okay. Yeah, because the Dark Place and most of the people involved in the Dark Place do really easy start conflating Scratch and Alan. Not just
Yeah,
like
'cause-
in an identical sense, but like pulling one tends to pull the other.
The other, yeah. And like people constantly referring to Alan as Thomas makes sense because Alan is effectively just a write-in character for Thomas.
Yeah.
So everyone calling Alan Tom is they're literally just seeing Tom. They're the same person effectively. Alan is just a created version of Tom, designed for a sacrifice. Alex Casey similarly being a design character for Alan, created as a sacrifice. But that was Scratch's sacrifice to get out, which is why Thomas Zane is still stuck here. This also involves some weird timey-wimey nonsense, because the Dark Place involves weird timey-wimey nonsense.
Yes, we're gonna get a very concrete example of how that, we're gonna get a wet, unset concrete version of how the Dark Place's timey-wimey nonsense works later.
I don't like that. Sounds disgusting.
But some other things that you can see if you paid attention to the credits at the very start of Nightless Night.
Thomas Zane as Alan Wake.
Yes, Thomas Zane as Alan Wake. So his intention was basically to come back from sacrificing Casey, but Scratch basically used it to get out instead. But also every character we've seen there, or every character who is listed in the credits is a character who we've seen before. Obviously, Alex Casey is Alex Casey. Barbara Yager is Baba Jakala. Yeah. Ilmari Hotari is also a character. He's the murderer.
Yeah, he's the Huatari well murderer.
Yeah, he's the Hotari well murderer.
Which was, again,
Auntie is
a
obviously
ritual
Auntie.
murder to use for the story.
Yeah. Another thing that they don't cover in the actual, like they don't throw a subtitle up for it or anything, is that in the very first section of the film, when Alex Casey's driving the car and drives past that sign, that sign is, I'm going to butcher the name for this, a sign for Cantilia Javi. Obviously butchered because I don't actually speak Finnish. It's a real lake found in Finland that literally translates to Cauldron Lake.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay then. All right. Yeah,
We'll talk about more. There's a very specific instance of the Dark Place involves timey-wimey nonsense we'll talk about when we get to the final manuscript extra.
Yes.
But,
and there's one in the main game that we can talk about as well.
I mean, it should be relatively obvious that timey-wimey nonsense occurs. Like, Nightless Night is effectively something that he does well before we get, like, Tom the Poet and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's literally his first film.
There wasn't enough alcohol in this city to drown the memories of this nightmare, but I damn well try. This case would never be closed. I had more questions now than at the start. The irony of being trapped in a postmodern detective story. I felt watched. The eyes of some unseen audience on me. I wanted to turn to the hidden camera and tell them to fuck off. But I didn't know where to look to break the fourth wall. There would always be another case for Casey. A million stories in this dark city. The night opened up to welcome me. I walked into her arms. Roll credits.
No, his name is Roll Fizzlebeef.
And yeah, we can go and watch all the parts of Nightless Night again if we so chose. They do give us the tape versions.
So we can watch it without Alan Wake constantly aiming a shotgun at the movie screen.
Correct.
Being there was impossible.
Alan was being pedantic for no damn good reason. There we go.
A broken man. No hope, no prospects, no love. Too stubborn to die. Like a cockroach with a misguided sense of honor and justice in a city where there can never be justice.
Justice. Now let's get back to our good old reliable central save point. I saw you teleport.
No, you did.
Ah, tricked me. Fair enough. More hits.
The phone was ringing again. Somehow I sensed it wasn't Zane this time.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Banana phone.
Hello? Hello. It wasn't Zane. It wasn't Scratch either. Huh? You're me? Me? I don't understand. There's a lot I don't understand.
The dark place operates in loops. Time is a story. I'm calling you from a different point in that story.
From the future?
Sure.
I'm never getting out of here, am I?
Yes, you will. And no, you won't. And that is by your own choice.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry for what you'll have to go through. Alice's photos you found from the shoebox in the talk show basement. Before you can go to Parliament Tower, you must put them in the shoebox at her statue at the plaza. To help you, to help Alice, to help Saga Anderson.
I'm my own Deus Ex Machina? Really?
Okay, so there's Alan Wake talking to Alan Wake.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing that I don't think the game is ever going to cover, which adds a layer of confusion onto things.
I follow the steps he laid out for me.
I'll wait till Alan was done talking. So we effectively know, or effectively can suss out or rationalize that Thomas Zane created the character of Alan Wake. And similarly, Alan Wake created the character of Alice Casey. The one thing we're never fully clear on is if people can create people whole cloth in the dark place, or if they have to be basically written over an actual person. So we don't have, nor will we ever really get, a implication of whether or not Alan Wake was a real person that Thomas Zane affected by his writing to turn into who he is, or if Alan Wake whole cloth didn't exist until Thomas Zane wrote it. And similarly for Alan Casey.
Yeah,
but
even no. Oh, sorry,
they never cover anything like that, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, even knowing what I know about what's coming up in the story, yeah, that's still a very muddied point. Anyways. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Like, we know we can affect people who exist, like we're actively affecting Saga Anderson, but never an indication whether or not you can wholesale a person. But I don't think it's ever going to come up and not get covered unless they decide to make more games.
Yeah,
but I'm sure they'd like to.
All right, so we've been going ping-ponging back and forth between Alan and Saga at a pretty reasonable clip. Doing a set number of chapters as Alan, set number of chapters as Saga. At this point in the game starts rambling on us. So if we hadn't done any of Alan's chapters before now, we would have to do the entire thing of Alan's side up to the point where he just put those things in the shoebox before we could continue as Saga. The game would have forced us into Alan's section. We could have come back to, like, do cleanup stuff, get the puzzles, the cult stashes and stuff, but we couldn't continue the story without doing that specific thing in Alan's chapter. So, I think that's where we're going to leave off for the night, because it's around our usual stopping point anyway. But we've got a very full set of circumstances coming up as we make our run up to the end game. And we've got a whole lot of mysteries left to solve. Anyway, thank you for joining us here on Sound Goblin Gaming, our Thursday night session. Join us on Sunday as we continue through Super Robot Wars 30 and find out how many more robots we can shove onto a single warship.
A lot.
A lot.
Quite a lot.
The angry face in the back of Hangar 1 will be pleased.
A nigh infinite number of giant robots.
And then join us back on Monday for the continuation of the Quarantine Region Quarantine Region survival mission in Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor Overclocked.
Mm-hmm.
Use your comms
with
responsibly.
100% less raisins.
Maybe 50.
Anyway, and of course, join us back here for Thursday when we will get into dealing with the Federal Bureau of Control and maybe, just maybe, if you're good, another musical number.
Oh.
But until then, I've been your host, the Krampus.
I've been Shiv.
I've been Hunter Grain.
And I'm Vincent.
And remember, everyone, Thomas Zane is an enigma, and the Dark Place is a land of contrasts.
Enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in an enchilada.
Enchilada.
Thomas Zane isn't real. He can't hurt you. Or is he?
Or is he just zany?